Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. We're visiting with our friend Deanna Wells from Committed Care Insurance. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, it's a busy time of day. A busy time of year, rather. October 12th, October 15th is right around the bend. And what date does that mean to us?
Well, tis the season for Medicare open enrollment. Medicare open enrollment starts October 15th through December 7th.
And what does Medicare open enrollment mean for those of us who are completely uninitiated in this at all?
Well, it's for people who have had Medicare that are in a current Medicare Advantage plan. They call it Medicare Part C, which is actually a Medicare, well, let's say a form of Medicare offered by the private insurance companies. So there are many companies. One of the biggest ones around here is Primetime. We've got Anthem, Medical Mutual, Humana, United Healthcare. We have several in the marketplace. And so people that are enrolled in those type of plans, this is the time that they need to do some shopping to look at what new benefits are coming out for 2018. And so it's a very important time because it could save you money, give you added benefits. And I'm real excited about the 2018 season because the carriers have gotten very creative and they're offering dental benefits like they've never done before. And you can get vision benefits. So it's time to make sure, basically, to have what we call a Medicare plan tune-up. And it has to be done by December 7th, and your effective date will be January 1st. Also, if you're on a Medicare supplement plan and have a prescription drug plan, you actually need to look at those prescription drug plans for the coming year because it could be quite a cost savings by making a change.
Okay, October 15th through December 7th is that window where we have an opportunity to say, here's what I want beginning January 1st, 2018.
That's correct.
And I have to be 65 years old as of when to qualify?
Well, it can be for people who are turning 65, but these are people who have been 65. They could be in their 70s, 80s. It's just the fact that you have Medicare. It could be actually for people under 65, those people that are on disability that have Medicare because they were on a disability. So the key is, do you have Medicare now, and what are your options for the coming year?
All right. So, but if I'm a person who has not been on Medicare yet, and that 65th birthday either just happened or is around the bend, is it I'm 65 as of January 1st or I'm 65 as of October 15th?
As far as people turning 65, is that you can be obviously turning 65 anytime. You just need to review those options 3 months before your birthday. So it can be because your Medicare effective date will be the month in which you turn 65. So, for example, I'm a September baby. So September 17th is my birthday. So when I turn 65, September 1st will be my effective date. So those people just turning 65, it's a 3-month window out. So I do have my January babies that are going to be January 1st that will also need to talk to us, but they have all the way till the end of December to talk to us.
Okay.
It's the people that are already enrolled in a plan get cut off on December 7th. But if you're turning 65, you have a different time limit. It's based on when you are going to be first eligible for Medicare. Does that make...
It does, and you begin to think about that 3 months before you actually have your birthday.
Yes.
Okay, so people can call you throughout the year.
Yes.
Doesn't matter when.
Yes.
But it is important to do. Now, the other thing I just want to make sure I'm clear on, whatever you decide between October 15th and December 7th, you are locked in for that whole next year. Yes? You can't go back and say, things have changed. Can I change my plan?
Well, there's two answers to that, of course, because it is a government program.
Well, then there's probably, yeah. So it can't be easy.
Generally, yes. Generally, you are locked into the plan. But there are special enrollment qualifications that may allow you to make changes throughout the year.
What would some of those be?
For example, if you moved out of the area, so if you lived here in Stark, Tusk County, and let's say you moved to Columbus or you moved to Florida, then you can make a change. It's based on your income. Depending on your income needs, if your income has all of a sudden dropped at a low level, that could open up. So there's various what they call special election periods, but generally for the majority of the population, yes, you are locked in for the entire year. So that window that we have is an important window for you because it could give you some dental benefits. It could definitely affect your pocketbook when it comes to prescription drugs and co-pays and that sort of thing. So it's such an important time. And we do have, is it okay if I mention the
Let's
paper?
talk about Senior Forum because you always have great articles in there.
Yes. And so just because we have limited time for this show is that in the October 2017 Senior Forum, you'll find that at doctor's offices, banks.
Everywhere.
They put them out everywhere. And lucky for me, I'm on the back page for the October month. And it's an article about 'tis the season for Medicare open enrollment. And the things that we're talking about here on the radio today are all included in this article. So if you didn't catch everything that we do go over, this is a great piece that you could pick up at your local bank, Senior Forum. You can call them, but it explains just about everything we're kind of trying to touch base on today because it can be complicated.
It's perfect, and you seem to really have a grasp of it. So the rest of us, I will just ask, and it's best probably just to listen. You don't have to take notes. You can grab a Senior Forum, and this will explain everything. It'll have it all in writing, everything that we touch on today. You mentioned prescription drugs. That seems to be the bugaboo, doesn't it? Sometimes people think they're covered, and then you go in and something's like $600. So what do we do?
Well, yes, on prescription drugs, it's kind of a tough issue if you take a brand name drug because brand name drugs are typically very expensive. So there are a couple things is, of course, you want to find the plan that's offering you the lowest cost, but that will not save you from falling into that donut hole, which is actually the coverage gap. If you are on high cost drugs, you could end up mid-year in the coverage gap because if you have a $600 a month drug cost, it may not be passed on to you. You may be paying a $45 copay, but what they're counting towards your coverage gap is the cost of that drug. So you could end up into that donut hole or coverage gap that everybody hates. Now, there are several prescription drug programs that will help you alleviate some costs. But again, it's based on income. Many people do not know that they can go to the manufacturer and apply for prescription drug assistance. There is also a Stark County prescription drug assistance program. But most Medicare people have to meet their coverage gap limit before those plans will kick in and start to help them. But there are many, many ways, and I take time to try to help my clients find which way is best for them to be able to manage through those tough times of the coverage gap. So that's what we do at Medicare.
It seems like insurance is such a personalized thing that a person honestly does need to sit down with you because you're almost like their personal shopper. You look around, you know what all of the different plans happen to be, and then you can look at a person's specific needs and say, this one is right, because this seems to be a match here of what you need and what this has to offer. Deanna, it seems like to me, show me where I'm wrong, cost of drugs seems to be such an arbitrary thing. It's almost like, how much do you have? That's what it costs. I'm thinking of the poor people who need the EpiPen and the big controversy with that, where suddenly, they were very affordable. People who needed them had them. Suddenly, the cost for reasons that seem to be unknown to everyone, the cost skyrockets to be just because they can. How does that work?
Well, from my understanding on that EpiPen is that the granddaughter inherited the company, and she just decided she wanted a raise.
So it is arbitrary.
It is
It's
arbitrary.
like, I'd like it to cost this much.
Right. And, not to get political, but
No.
there does need to be some sort of regulation on the pharmaceutical market. What's really tough is that everyone can go and look at drug cost at Medicare.gov. That's www.medicare.gov. But the problem is understanding that website, and that's what we do at Committed Care Insurance Services. I've been working with Medicare for about 30-some years, a long time. But you have to know the tricks, because in these Medicare programs, there's preferred pharmacies. So if you go to one pharmacy over the other, you're going to get a much better price, or you might get a better price through the mail order, but you have to play with that website. So, and I see a vast difference in cost between just the pharmacies themselves. One drug may be $200 at one pharmacy as far as the cost, and may only be $30 at another pharmacy.
A block over.
Yes. So it is all over the block. I've been trying to actually myself figure out what the game is. And
good, because that was my next question. What makes a pharmacy a preferred pharmacy?
Well, on the preferred pharmacy, the carriers contract specifically with them. And I don't really know what causes that as far as how they choose that, but that's a contract. But I did want to mention one other thing about the personal, because yes, please do not talk to your brother, sisters, uncle, neighbor, because what plan is good for them may not be your best option for cost effectiveness. And because at Committed Care Insurance Services, we're an independent insurance agency, and there's a big difference. Independent insurance agencies, we work with all the carriers, and we work really hard to service our clients that way. So we spend about 100 hours every single year looking at all these plans, learning these plans. We have to take tests with every one of the carriers, and we can help people in Carroll, Stark, Tuscarawas County, Wayne, Holmes. So we try to help and Summit County as well. So that's kind of our service area. We're a team of 4 agents, and most of us have been doing this for over 20 years. So it's not just me specifically doing it, but our hearts are really committed to care for the clients. So I just wanted to mention that, because that was such a great thing that you said, that this is really a personalized experience for everyone.
It does. It just sounds like one plan cannot possibly fit all.
No.
You mentioned a lot of alphabet letters, A, B, C, Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D. What do those mean, and what in the world are we talking about there?
Well, they call Original Medicare. Original Medicare is your red, white, and blue card. And by the way, they are replacing all of the Medicare cards starting in April of 2018. They are going to be taking your Social Security number off and giving you an arbitrary number. So they'll look similar. They've updated the card look. I've seen it. So they are going to start that replacement program in April of 2018.
So what's the best thing to do with your old card? Shred it so people can't get your Social Security number,
Yes,
or you don't have to turn them in or anything?
I would suggest to shred them, yes.
Okay.
So, but that transition period is happening. But original Medicare is Part A, which was hospital services, skilled nursing facility, and there's some coverage for some blood services. And Part B, it's everything else outpatient. And normally Part A is at no cost to you. Part B does have a cost. And right now for 2017, it's $134. For people under, an individual can make up to $85,000 or $170,000 for couples. If you go over those income levels, your Part B will cost you more. But the average American population that is now turning 65, it'll be $134 out of their Social Security check. But if you elect not to take your financial Social Security benefits, you will need to enroll in Medicare and pay for that through either an automatic bank draft or a monthly or a quarterly bill pay. So you don't have to collect Social Security benefits to enroll in your Medicare. It's, again, another conversation. When you turn 65, we'll be glad to help people navigate what should you do when that happens.
Okay. I've got a million questions based on what you just said, but we do need to take a really quick break. We'll be back after these words with Deanna Wells. You're listening to Our Community.